Testing, 1, 2. Testing sound on Facebook. All right, testing sound on YouTube. All right, testing sound on YouTube. Alrighty, I've got 8:30 here. We're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to make sure we got sound coming through. It looks like we do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Gilmore with the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. We're going to go ahead and get started here talking about some severe weather potential we may be having coming in tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Really want to talk about that and what kind of potential we may be seeing with that. I know we just had a lot of severe weather last night, a lot of thunderstorms, severe weather, even some small tornadoes too. And we're going to talk about just a little bit about what happened last night. Talk about what to expect through the night, overnight tonight, and then going in through the day tomorrow, and then going in through Saturday, and maybe even a little bit of a peek towards the extended, what kind of weather we're going to be seeing towards towards the later part of next week. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now. First, let's go ahead and show you what's going on right outside the window. I always like to kind of show that first with the current satellite imagery. We got Louisiana there, kind of the center left part of the animation you see. We see that we do have some thunderstorms ongoing in east central Texas. These have actually been severe, and that they're creating what is called a very impressive convective plume, or a kind of like what's called an anvil plume. That's usually an indication of very cold cloud tops with those brighter colors that you see with infrared satellite imagery. And the fact that these anvil tops are being skewed all the way over towards the east is a good indication there's a lot of good shear with this. So the good news here is there's a marginal risk, but this is not expected to impact our area. The marginal risk does kind of go into a little bit of western Louisiana, but we're not expecting to see any impacts from this at all. Most of the night tonight should be mostly cloudy, just with maybe some isolated showers. So let's go ahead and show you that actually right now. Well, some of those showers are actually starting to already form just south near Grand Isle, going across south of Plaquemines Parish. This activity will spread and move up towards the north tonight. So you see that this little bit of a brown line here. This is an outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for areas to the east of this area may have some showers and a few thunderstorms actually. So be aware that there could be some showers and thunderstorms. Generally what we've been saying is along and east of I-59 tonight, but not anything like what we saw last night with consistent, continuous lightning, loud thunder, wind, and anything like that. We're not expecting that. Just maybe some gentle rain showers. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder or two. But again, this may even continue through the night and even during the day tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump into what we had yesterday, or earlier this morning, that is, with actually some preliminary damage survey results from tornadoes overnight. So if you were trying to sleep last night, it probably was a pretty tough night to sleep. It was very loud. We had continuous lightning with these thunderstorms, and they did actually produce some small tornadoes. This was one over Livingston Parish near Watson. Very small EF0 tornado. We're only talking 80-mile-per-hour winds with a width of about 25 yards. This is around northwestern rural portions of Livingston Parish. And then we had another tornado also towards the east. This is for Hancock County, Mississippi, where we had an EF0 tornado with max winds of estimated around 75 miles per hour. This one was interesting. Actually occurred in the John C. Stennis Space Center, where we had some minor damage there. So again, I was kind of around western portions of Hancock County, north of I-12, or north of the interstate, I-10, north of the interstate. But again, just some small tornadoes last night. But the good news is we're not expecting anything like that going into tonight. Here's the forecast, what I was just talking about. Mostly cloudy skies, a few scattered showers. Where I was just talking about would be spreading up towards the northeast overnight. Lows around the mid-60s. Going into Friday, primarily Partly to mostly cloudy skies, but we may see a little bit of more of a spread of the activity with the scattered showers tomorrow. This could reach all the way as far west as Baton Rouge and areas towards the north. The better chance is obviously going to be in those darker greens that you see with the image to the right. We're talking about Slidell, Bogalusa, coastal Mississippi, where we'll just have basically more coverage pattern in that area, where we could have some scattered showers. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder, but we're not anticipating any severe weather during the day on Friday. However, it's going to change when we go into Friday night, and this is going to be the bulk of what we're going to be discussing the most here. Is going to be Friday night going into Saturday morning. That's the time where we may be dealing with strong to severe thunderstorms. For some of the latest model guidance that we've been looking at, it's looking like maybe more late Friday night, possibly around midnight, but now actually looks like it's possibly getting into more Saturday morning. Kind of similar to what we saw last night. And we know we had the storms overnight last night towards the AM hours. It's going to be kind of similar with this going into Saturday morning. So if you have a lot of plans, anything going on Friday night and early Saturday morning, please be weather aware. Of course, we're going to talk a lot about that here coming up in just a quick moment, but just be aware, most of the night Friday night should be dry. I can't rule out some scattered showers, but again, we're talking about primarily after midnight. So this is what we're talking about with the risk level of the severe weather, what we're talking about Friday night to Saturday morning. With this event that we saw, this was a slight risk event. Now this was a little bit of a higher level, what we call a level 3 out of 5. So this is a little bit heightened wording with this one, especially as you get further to the north across southwest Mississippi, where we have an enhanced risk for severe weather. Now that's going to be where the primary risk, the better risk for severe weather is going to be Saturday morning. We see that the risk lowers as you get towards I-10-12 corridor, and even down to New Orleans, we're talking about a marginal risk, or what's called a 1 out of 5 risk for that area. So generally speaking, we're going to be watching what kind of storm mode that we may be having. So far, I'm going to show that a little bit later, show you some of the difficulties that we've been actually dealing with here in the forecast office, or just even forecasting this event. It actually has some challenges with it, and we're going to show you why here in a little bit, but primarily what we're expecting with the potential impacts, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, even large hail could be possible, and just like last night, or earlier this morning, we cannot rule out a few isolated tornadoes again. We want you to pay attention to the forecast and make sure you have a reliable way to receive warnings, because that is extremely important in this case. The fact that this is going to be coming overnight, you need to have something that can wake you up if you get a tornado warning. So that's going to be very important here. Now this map here, let me bounce back here. I want to show you that this map is in effect valid from 7 a.m. Friday through 7 a.m. Saturday. So this takes that entire timeline into effect, that entire 24-hour timeline here, but this is mostly at the very end of that timeline. We're talking about more so around 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. through 7 a.m. Saturday. And then as we go through 7 a.m. Saturday onwards, we see that the threat does lower but shifts south and east. So this threat's going to be primarily during the early part of this 24-hour window. So we're talking about just primarily the morning hours, the early morning hours, primarily maybe 7 to 9 a.m., possibly could go as late as 10 to 11 a.m., but mostly we'll try to get the severe weather risk out of here by noon and towards the afternoon hours. So again, that's going to be a threat level 2 out of 5 in that yellow area. So that does include greater New Orleans area, Slidell, Biloxi, Gulfport, Pascagoula. You're all in that slight risk. Slightly less of a risk as you get towards Baton Rouge, but still don't let your guard down if you're in anywhere of those green colors, and especially the yellow colors. So what I was just talking about with the threat levels, we always like to say a 2 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5. That kind of gives us a good gauge in the probability of what you may see with severe weather. So we're not talking about a 4 or a 5 out of 5. Those are moderate and high risk outbreak days. Those are very rare for down here. Slight is a little bit more common. Marginal is relatively common. But enhanced is pretty much just that. It's an enhanced wording and enhanced potential for severe weather. So we're going to have to watch this one a little bit carefully, especially with the timing of this event. And we'll be seeing what kind of storm mode we'll be dealing with here. So actually, before I show the forecast storm total rainfall, I'm going to show you some of the challenges. It's a little bit something I don't normally show a lot here, but this is to kind of show you what kind of challenges that we have here in the forecast offices as forecasters, trying to determine what exactly is going to be going on with this event by looking at some of the model guidance. Now, model guidance does all the dirty work for us. It crunches all those complicated math formulas. And what it does is simulates what it might think could be happening in the future. The thing is, there could be a whole suite of different model guidance. You can have different models with different parameters, initialization parameters. different conditions, sometimes different atmospheric conditions that can give out a different scenario in the future. Our job as meteorologists is to take this data and collect it down to create an accurate forecast to provide to you. So with this, I want to show you actually, this is something very interesting. This is one model parameter from one specific model, which is called simulated reflectivity. It basically just predicts what the radar is going to look like well ahead and in advance. Very interesting tool, but you can't take it literally. It's just model guidance, or as what we call the Weather Service, it's just a tool to use. It's something to help guide us with what the weather might do. So as we go towards the overnight hours on Friday night into Saturday morning, this is one model's idea of what may be happening. This is actually by midnight on Friday night into Saturday morning. We see one model has a very large line of storms to our northwest, but I'm going to actually show you a change through the model guidance. As I change through, this is another model for that same time. Another model for that same time, and I'm going to keep going down. Now you notice there's a trend here. It's pretty chaotic. You see the line maybe back in Little Rock, Arkansas. We go towards another, and one model does have that too, but this model actually has showers and storms out ahead of it. So the problem with this event is going to be storm mode and what's going to be really happening in the small scale features. What we're worried about is the potential for maybe what we call a mesoscale convective system, or just a Boeing segment, a large cluster of thunderstorms, which can kind of get going on their own. If that's the case, it's going to be tough. We're going to have to actually watch observations when it comes to late Friday to see where these clusters form and then forecast them through. But as you can see, some models even have several waves of clusters. Here's one model that has one line back towards northern Louisiana, another one towards northern Mississippi. So what this is telling us, and this is a low confidence forecast. That's with details. However, with the atmospheric parameters, they do exist with the potential for severe weather. So again, we're really going to have to watch this one specifically in respect to how this is going to be happening during the overnight hours, which is one of our major concerns here, the fact that this could be a pretty stout damaging wind event, maybe even a few tornadoes where tornado warnings could be necessary, which means you need to have a reliable way to receive those warnings. So even with that said, widespread heavy rainfall will be a concern as well. Again, depending on exactly where these features set up, we could have some overrunning precipitation. Right now we're advertising a general 2 to 3 inch precipitation field from around Baton Rouge, just west of Baton Rouge, all across the North Shore into coastal Mississippi. However, be aware the most important thing here, one of the most important things here, is that this is just an average amount. There could be locally higher amounts as well, way higher than what you see in some of these values. So be prepared that we may even deal with some flash flooding in some of these areas. For the city, as you see, we got 1.5 to 2 inch rainfall totals. But be aware that could vary. It could be a little bit less or it could be more. So also, if you have to be traveling, be aware too that there could be some flooding conditions. So now I'm going to talk about a little bit about how this event is forecast to be coming overnight and why it's important for you to have these wireless emergency alerts on your cell phone. They can save your life. I've heard countless stories of people who got these warnings on their phone, woke them up, and they went to their safe place. You don't want to be sleeping. You don't want to be just riding through the storm and just maybe roll over, see there's a warning, and I'm not too concerned, and go back to bed. We don't want that to happen. Most important thing here is we're not doing this to annoy you or wake you up. We're doing this because it's a storm or a tornado that has the potential to possibly be a deadly storm and could affect your life. So we want you to take this seriously. If your phone goes off, it goes off for a reason. So please take it seriously. If you have it turned off, please turn it back on, especially because this is going to be coming overnight. Have multiple ways to receive warnings as well, through the internet, which I was just talking about. We got some of the best broadcast meteorologists around across southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. They do a fantastic job getting the word out about these warnings. They will be posted on their social media accounts or coming on TV. Weather radio, you can never go wrong with a weather radio. Just make sure that you have a fresh set of batteries in case the power goes out. And then also, I'm kind of hitting this point too lately, is make sure you really spread the word. Tell your family, friends, and even coworkers that this potential does exist. Just spread the word around. Just say, hey, maybe you know someone who's going out that night. Just say, hey, be weather aware. Just make sure if your phone goes off, take it serious. We may be dealing with some severe weather. Now, I always say this a lot, and I know I'm kind of beating the dead horse here, but I really don't care because this is extremely important, is a simple geography skills, is that you got to know where you live on a map, because when it comes to these severe weather events, we constantly show maps, we constantly show counties, parishes, where the storms are going to be in. you need to know your city and what county and parish that your city is located in. And even better, know your parishes and counties that surround you. That way, like for example, if you live in Hammond and you know there's a tornado warning for Livingston Parish, you know the storms are moving towards the east, be aware that that storm could be impacting Tangipahoa Parish downstream, even though you're not even under a warning. That's great situational awareness if you know exactly where you live, which can help you kind of give you a little bit better of a heads up as the storms are approaching your area. Now beyond here, beyond Saturday, as we get rid of the storms in the morning, going into Sunday, that's some great news. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of a drier day, so hopefully Sunday's looking really nice, very sunny, highs a little bit cooler into the upper 70s. But going to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, however, we may see some scattered showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms returning back. No extreme cold weather and no extreme severe weather expected beyond Saturday going into Wednesday, even through the long range. So relatively normal for this time of year, which is some great news. We just need to get over this event on Friday and Saturday first. As always, know which National Weather Service office serves your area. We're surrounded by 3 offices. We cover the southeast Louisiana and southwest and southeastern Mississippi, mostly southwestern 4 counties, and coastal Mississippi, a few counties on coastal Mississippi. If you have family and friends in Mobile, that's at National Weather Service Mobile, at National Weather Service Jackson, Mississippi towards the north, and National Weather Service Lake Charles towards our west. Make sure if you live in any of these areas, be aware that the threat for severe weather, that enhanced risk I was just showing you, extends all the way to Jackson's area. So if you have family and friends in that area, be sure to give them a heads up, make sure they're safe for this event, and we'll get through it all together here. So that's pretty much all I'm going to have here. With this update with the severe weather. We'll try and do a couple more updates. We'll be posting a lot more frequent updates to social media. That'll be Twitter and Facebook, so be sure to be following us there with the latest, especially if there's going to be any changes to the outlook or the threat area, because I was just showing you with the model guidance, it's going to be a little bit difficult to pinpoint what exact threat and what exact areas we'll be seeing some of the more significant severe weather potential, but we'll definitely have a better idea narrowing it down as we get towards the day into the day hours tomorrow. So we'll make sure to promise to be updating you that with the latest when it comes across. So we'll be ending it there, and again, we'll keep you posted with more updates. And have a great evening, a great night, and thanks for joining. Take care.